Alright, who's ready to go to another age? I know I am. So last time we looked at this telescope over here, which led us to the Adana Tusk. So I'm just going to keep on going to the right here and go on to this next one. Ooh, we missed this the first time around. Cirrus and Aganar. The walls run red with steam and strangling branches. I see their bloated faces, laughing at everything. I remember how they lied. I remember what they did. They brought me here to die. I followed them. The lattice roots were black from too much overgrowth. Puffer spores floated up in the hot steam and burst. No one was there to guide the spores to the branches. No one was waiting to perform the ritual weaves. The fighting had torn my people apart. They didn't care. They didn't care. They wanted Narayan to die. A little bit more information about this civil war that Cirrus and Aganar appeared to have started on Narayan. But for now, our concern is getting over to this next tusk, which you might recall was the first one that we saw when we first arrived at Jananan. You know, I always think that thing's gonna hit me whenever I open it. Yeah, close the door behind you. Thankfully, it's not that long of a walk over to this tusk. Okay, so you might remember that last time we crawled down through this hole, and this barrel was in our way. Now we can't climb over it, so we're going to have to figure out some other options here. Well, here's something for starters. We got a pedestal over on this rock, plus some rungs that are embedded in this larger rock, under which we're standing right now. So maybe we just need to look around a little bit more up here. Yeah, there we go. There's a rung right there. You know, even for 2001, these water effects are kind of a little bit terrible. But thankfully we can get a pretty good view of the situation from here. We got the door, the barrel, and the ladder. So what's this stuff do? Okay, so it manipulates parts of the bridge. It looks like this one raises and lowers points 1 and 3 respectively. That's not really what I want to do. But that demonstrated that this lever controls points 2 and 4. So let's just guide this barrel over to the right side, not over here in front of the door. We definitely don't want it there. You know, that thing should have just kept on going. I don't know what kind of physics these are, come on. Well, who knows, maybe Jananan just has some really weird properties or something. Anyway, that wasn't too bad, and we didn't even need a squee either. I gotta admit, I'm already kind of missing the little guy. Something tells me the floor is not supposed to be like this. Yeah, we definitely cannot get over to the pedestal. Okay, so what can we do about this now? Well, we could fill it up with something. We can't really see the bottom of this place, but it's got to be there somewhere. And come to think of it, we already tried doing this earlier, didn't we? Although the door was closed back then. So thankfully our player character does not act on his obsession to close doors behind him right now, because if he did, we would be stuck here forever. I gotta wonder though, was this intended? I mean, the other tusk didn't have the floor broken, although we wouldn't have been able to really solve it if it were. So maybe Savidro did this. After all, he did say that he was making changes to a bunch of the ages, using Atrus's own lessons against him, were his words. So maybe he's doing the same here. Though if that is the case, then I wonder what he did on Idana. There we go. The barrel is snug in that hole. You know, this is kind of awkward, so we should probably just go over here. And we get a nice big blue book to Amateria. By the way, have you noticed that the colors of the books correspond with the colors of the lights that shone through the portals that we viewed the tusks through? Idana's was green, and this one is blue. Although the light here inside the tusk is a little bit less pronounced than it was in the Idana tusk. Well, let's check out this new world. It looks like quite a pretty place. Then again, I guess I'm kind of partial to sunsets, being a photographer and all. Still, sunsets are pretty amazing. Well, one thing is for sure, this place is certainly a lot different than Idana. There doesn't even appear to be that much natural stuff anywhere around here, except for maybe this crystal and some other things. Pretty much everything here is, or at least it looks like it was man-made. So let's study the place a bit. We've got a bunch of stuff scattered all over the place, but the most prominent structure is this gigantic pagoda here. And out from it comes this track, and it looks like it goes over here, around this area, and then it stops. Maybe these are supposed to be track pieces that are lowered here. These are counterweights or something. But at any rate, it looks like this would eventually end up here at this structure in the middle of the ocean. Now, here along the way, there are these missing track pieces, although it looks like these flaps might serve that purpose, if we can just get them to bend in a little bit. Oh, come on, I pressed all the buttons. Alright, there's probably a specific combination to enter. Let's keep on looking around. We got bridges, we got smaller pagodas, we got all sorts of things to look at here. And hey, check that out, we can see a door that leads inside the giant pagoda that has that same symbol on it. I mentioned earlier that it kind of looks like a barrel from the top down, but it may be something else entirely, who knows. Oh, and here's the Jananan book. So one thing that's kind of unique about this one, this is the only book back to Jananan from the beginning of an age that shows a flyby that starts outside the tusk, not inside it. For some reason, my 13-year-old self was really fascinated with that when I first played the game. I don't know why, but I guess I thought it was kind of cool. I always enjoyed those flybys. Alright. Well, we got a choice here of going either right or left, and you know me, I'm going to go left first. Ugh. What's this stuff? I don't think we should be touching that. Alright, we got a gigantic contraption here. And no clue what to do. And we can't use any of this stuff either. Okay, maybe now it works. Whoa. That's pretty cool. Okay, what just happened there? That was kind of odd, wasn't it? I mean, I doubt that smashing that sphere is really what we want to happen. Judging from the looks of things, this thing continues onward here where the track goes. So we probably want it to go across this little bridge. So what does this do? Okay, so it makes the wheel go left a little bit. Let's try that out. Let's study a little bit more closely what's going on here. So this thing raises up, drops this ice ball or whatever it is through there. Then it comes down, it knocks this other ball down, and then it lands over there in that spot where it weighs this whole contraption down. Well, this thing is serving as a weight, and this thing is kind of like a balance, and there's got to be another weight that's serving as a counterweight, right? Let's just try doing it the other way around here, where the wheel is on the right. Will this work? No. Okay. Well, something is very clearly wrong here. Maybe there's more going on here than meets the eye. Like I said, there's got to be a counterweight on the other side, and it looks like, judging from this right here, that there's something coming down. So maybe that's where it's stored. Ooh, this place looks like a sauna. We should hang out here for a little while. But it looks like we found our counterweights, and it's only half a ball. Well, let's put some stuff on it, see if that helps. There we go. So, I mean, you notice that when we had launched the sphere that was on this track, it weighed this whole thing down pretty heavily toward this side. So let's try this again. Okay, well that time it was more weighted this way, so it still didn't equal out because it was too heavy on this side. So we're gonna have some work to do here to figure out how exactly to manipulate this. We can get a closer view of this ball. It looks like it's made out of wood. Alright, let's go back down and see what we can do with this. Alright, let's go ahead and get all this stuff off here, because we've weighted this thing down way too much. Okay, so we've got half a ball made of wood. So let's put 4 wood pieces on it. 1, 2... Oh. Okay, well, hopefully we could find some more. But it looks like they're all smashed up. Probably Savidro. I doubt Atris did that. However, you might recall that back in Savidro's laboratory there was a clue that pertains to this puzzle. We saw a balance that showed that 1 crystal sphere is equal to 4 wooden spheres. So let's put 1 crystal piece on this ball. This would be the equivalent of 4 wooden wedges being on it, so let's see if that makes a difference. Of course, we would need to move the fulcrum back to the middle for this to work. Alright, here goes nothing. Huh. Well, that's rather odd. Even though we'd put the equivalent of an all-wooden ball on this side is still heavier. Well, maybe there's something else going on here, because we can only see half of the ball from this angle. So let's go ahead and see if we can view it from a few other angles. Maybe it's not made out of entirely wood, as we had been suspecting. Can we see it from here? Here we go. Well, it looks like we've got more wood this way. Is there another angle that we can view it from? Let's continue looking around. Looks like we got an elevator here. Ooh, we got a nice view. There it is. Aha! So this ball has one crystal piece in it. Very, very clever. Well, I gotta admit, how in the world does this thing roll exactly the amount that it needs to, such that we can see that piece only from here? That's kind of a little convenient, not gonna lie. But anyway... Oh. More journal pages. My attempts to produce a carnivorous hybrid have had limited success. I thought I was making greater progress, but the life that grows in the forest isn't like the plants on Narayan. It's much more tenacious, less susceptible to grafts. Perhaps if I try mixing in species from the swamp? Interesting. Now, you might recall that we saw that Venus flytrap kind of plant in Smeagol's laboratory in his office. So was the plant that trapped the bird on Idana his doing? If so, that makes me wonder if he was also the one who planted the squee trap there as well. And if that were the case, then what were the original solutions to those puzzles? Okay, so we've got what we needed. We now know that if a ball equals 8 wedges, then the ball that's on the other side has 7 wooden wedges and 1 crystal wedge. Well, to have a common denominator here, let's think of this in terms of units of wood. So, if 1 crystal piece is equal to 4 wooden pieces, then that ball is equal to 11 wood. Which means that we need to pile on 3 wooden pieces and 1 crystal piece here to make this ball equal 11 wood. But as we noted earlier, there are not enough wooden pieces to make that a reality. However, there is another option that we can go for. You might recall also that in Saavedra's laboratory he had that little effigy of Atreus and sons, where the fulcrum was placed on the side that was less weighted, that was half the weight of the other side. So maybe if we can place the fulcrum on the right side, here, then we can make this ball twice the weight of the other one. I feel like I just explained that terribly, but you get the idea. So how are we going to do that? Well, we even need to make this ball 22 wood. So we got 4 right here, which means that we just need to make 18 more. Well, the crystal and the wooden pieces aren't enough to do that, but maybe these metal pieces will help. Because we also saw in Saavedra's laboratory that 1 metal piece is equal to 4 crystal pieces. So the metal piece is 16 wood for our purposes. So that's 20 right there, and all we would need to do is just pile on a couple more wood. There we go. Hopefully that will finally solve the puzzle. Let's raise this thing up one more time. And like I said, we want to move this over here, because this is closer to the lighter side. Okay, I must have done something wrong. Sorry guys, I don't exactly know what I did wrong there. Hang on one sec. Okay, so I got 11 wood on the other side, and yeah, this is a metal piece, so this is 16, plus these is 20. So maybe I just had to put the fulcrum toward this side? Okay, so maybe my explanation of the fulcrum thing was wrong. Wait, of course it's closer to the side that's the heavier one. Wait, what was I thinking? Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. But it's part of the LP, and I don't really want to get rid of that, so... Sorry about that, guys. Let's see if this works. There we go. Okay. I just had the balancing part completely wrong with the fulcrum. Alright, well we raised part of the bridge and... Oh, we lowered it. But we did get one of the codes that we can use for the entry area. So maybe if we put this in, it will not only raise those flaps that comprise the walkway to the pagoda, but it might also raise the bridge part that we just saw being raised and lowered permanently, perhaps.